Providence female students, let's settle down so that we may begin.
Please stand for the prayer, Pledge of Allegiance, the Providence St. Mel mission statement, and the singing of the Black National Anthem. Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, our hearts are filled with your praise as we celebrate Black history and reflect on our historical journey of freedom, courage, and hope. We celebrate you and your hand of grace upon us. It is by your amazing grace that many of our forefathers and foremothers stood sacrificially and strong in faith and fought for freedom. Lord, we stand on the shoulders of countless African Americans who helped shape the character of our nation. Thank you for the contributions of courageous Americans who led the fight to end slavery and expand basic civil rights for Americans. You are our dwelling place, our protector, our shield, our refuge. Thank you for the gift of freedom. Dear Lord, give us more love for all, more faith, courage, and peace. We offer this prayer in Jesus' name and for his glory. Amen. Amen.
now for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for the mission statement. At Providence St. Mel, we believe. We believe in the creation of inspired life, produced by the miracle of hard work. We are not frightened by the challenges of reality, but believe that we can change our conception of this world and our place within it. So we work, plan, build, and dream in that world. We believe that one must earn the right to dream. Our talent, discipline, and integrity will be our contribution to a new world, because we believe that we can take this place, this time, and this people and make a better place, a better time, and a better people. With God's help, we will find a way for more.
Robert Smalls, Shirley Chisholm, Anna Turnbull Malone, Benjamin Banneker, Catherine Dunham, Duke Ellington, Blanche K. Bruce, Fannie Lou Hamer, Benjamin Pap Singleton, Ella Fitzgerald, and Robert Sangstack Abbott. What do these people have in common? They are included in the roll call of thousands of African Americans whose talent, skills, and knowledge have contributed to American culture and advancement. Today, you will hear about the evolution of Black History Month and many more African Americans from different fields who have paved the way for us today. Listen closely to the stories, watch the presentations, and respect the efforts of each African American whose shoulders we stand on. Enjoy the assembly prepared for you today. Thank you.
Welcome to Providence St. Mel's 2024 Black History Assembly. Through songs, words, visual art, and performance, we honor the legacy of Carter G. Woodson and his vision of Black History Month. In 1915, Woodson and his friends established the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. A year later, the Journal of Negro History began quarterly publication. In 1926, Woodson proposed and launched the January-February observance of Negro History Week, which became Black History Month. It is said that he chose February for the observance because February 12th was Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and February 14th was the accepted birthday of Frederick Douglass. It is with his legacy in mind that we offer this celebration of Black History Month.
Poetry was a way of life which many African Americans utilized to express and define the Black experience within America. After being kidnapped from West Africa, the first female African American poet to publish a book of poetry in the American colonies in 1773. Wheatley's legacy allowed for future female African American poets to thrive, despite the road speculation that one cannot be artistic or intellectual simply because of one's race. Amanda Gorman is one of these female poets. Amanda Gorman is the youngest inaugural poet in U.S. history, as well as an award-winning writer and cum laude graduate of Harvard University, where she studied sociology. She has written for the New York Times and has 3 books forthcoming with Penguin Random House. Born and raised in Los Angeles, she began only writing at a few years of age. Now her works have won her invitations to the Obama White House to perform from Lin-Manuel Miranda, Al Gore, Secretary Hillary Clinton, Malala Yousafzai, and others. Amanda has performed multiple commissioned poems for CBS This Morning, and she has spoken at events and venues across the country, including the Library of Congress and Lincoln Center. She received the Genius Grant from Ozzy Media, as well as recognition from Scholastic Inc., Young Arts, the Glamour Magazine College Woman of the Year Awards, and the Webby Awards. She has written for the New York Times newsletter, The Edit, and penned the manifesto for Nike's 2020 Black History Month campaign. In 2017, Amanda Gorman was appointed the first ever National Youth Poet Laureate by Urban Word, a program that supports youth poets laureate in more than 60 cities, regions, and states nationally. She is the recipient of the Poets and Writers Barnes and Noble Writers for Writers Award and is the youngest member of 826 National, the largest youth network writing in the United States.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny Black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gaze not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into. and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain: if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there was always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
During the 1936 Berlin Summer Olympics, Jesse Owens earned one of his 4 gold medals when he placed first in the 200-meter dash, finishing in 20.7 seconds. He is hailed as an American and African-American treasure. In that same race, coming in second at 21.1 seconds and winning the silver medal, was another African-American athlete, Matthew "Mac" Robinson, who also deserves remembrance and recognition. Mac has been lost to history, overshadowed by the well-deserved attention given to Mr. Owens, but also by the equally well-deserved attention given to his younger brother, Baseball Hall of Fame legend, Jackie Robinson. The barriers broken by Jesse Owens and Mac Robinson have allowed today's African-American athletes to shine, such as Noah Lyles. Lyles is an American professional track and field sprinter, competing in the 100 meters and 200 meters. He is the 2020 Tokyo Olympic 200-meter bronze medalist and a 6-time world champion, having won the 200-meter and the 4x100-meter relay at the 2019 World Championships, the 200-meter at the 2022 World Championships, and the 100-meter, 200-meter, and 4x100-meter relay events at the 2023 World Championships, becoming the first man since Usain Bolt in 2015 to complete this sprint triple at a World Championship. At the 2022 Championships, Lyles has also earned a silver medal in the 4x100-meter relay. He holds personal bests of 9.83 seconds for the 100-meter and 19.31 seconds for the 200-meter, the latter being an American record, making him the 3rd fastest on the respective world all-time list. Like Jesse Owens and Mac Robinson before him, Noah Lyles also believes in raising people up. In 2020, Lyles and his younger brother Josephus decided to launch the Lyles Foundation to empower young people through the advancement of health and wellness of communities. In creating the foundation, Lyles said, "We know there are tons of kids out there and youth that are striving to achieve what me and my brother have done and just don't have the resources. We've always known that we want to give back to those communities, try to find those youth that can reach the top and give our insight, whether that's with mental health, nutrition, or even being physical, getting them into sports, introducing them to the right people.
Diane Nash is an African-American activist, lecturer, and businesswoman from Chicago, Illinois. At age 22, she became the unofficial leader of the 1960 sit-ins that desegregated lunch counters in Nashville, Tennessee, encouraged by sit-ins in February in Greensboro, North Carolina. With John Lewis, Nash led the protesters in a policy of refusing to pay bail on principle. Sentenced to pay a $50 fine for sitting at a whites-only lunch counter, Nash represented her fellow activists and told the judge, "We feel that if we pay these fines, we should be contributing to and supporting the injustice and immoral practices that have been performed in arrest and conviction of the defendants." When Nash provocatively asked the mayor on the steps of City Hall, "Do you feel that it is wrong to discriminate against a person solely on the basis of their race or color?" the mayor admitted that he did. Within a few weeks, 6 lunch counters in Nashville were serving blacks. In April 1960, Nash helped to found the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or SNCC, and quit school to lead its Direct Action Wing. In 1961, she took over responsibility for the freedom rides from Birmingham, Alabama to Jackson, Mississippi. The rides had been conceived by the Congress of Racial Equality, or CORE, but after severe attacks, CORE's leader, James L. Farmer Jr., decided to cancel them. Nash argued that we can't let them stop us with violence. If we do, the movement is dead. Nash also designed the strategy used by SNCC in the Selma, Alabama Right to Vote campaign, and was also an important organizer for the 1960 campaign in Birmingham, working alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and SCLC.
Surely been buked and I've surely been scorned, but still my soul is a heaven born.
If you don't know that I've been redeemed, just follow me down to the Jordan stream. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last.
Jazz is a musical genre that originated in the African American community of New Orleans, Louisiana, in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It emerged in the form of independent traditional and popular musical styles, all linked by the common bonds of African American and European American music. Jazz has roots in West African cultural and musical expressions and in African American musical traditions including blues and ragtime. Although the foundation of jazz is deeply rooted within the Black experience of the United States, different cultures have contributed their own experience and styles to the art form as well. Intellectuals around the world have hailed jazz as one of America's original art forms.
But jazz is like love. It's something that we recognize when we encounter it. It's very hard to control.
It's fun to hear, It's complex, it's creative, it's inspiring. It's basically a life force.
Well, it's always moving forward. It isn't music of the past, it's music of today, it's music of the future.
Jazz came out of the African American community experience, and much of that is based on the Black church. Call and response is an active component of praise and worship. You know, the leader speaks, and then the audience responds. The person who's taking the solo makes a musical statement, someone might respond to that statement. So it becomes an actual conversation that's going on. It's a conversation. One of the hallmarks of jazz is improvisation. And so you're responding to lots of things, ideas that you have in your head, things that you know, things that are coming at you in a millisecond. You really want to lose yourself in the music. You don't know what's coming out of you. But the only thing that's coming out of you is what's inside of you.
Jazz expresses core American values: freedom, risk-taking, cultural diversity, innovation, creative collaboration, and democracy.
When you see me coming, baby, raise your window up high.
In a democracy, everybody gets a vote. In a good jazz band, everybody gets a voice.
It's inclusive. And I think that's the wonderful thing about jazz, but also about this country, is that we all have the opportunity to have a voice. And to me, jazz epitomizes that.
You better hang your head and cry.
I don't think you can go through thinking about American music without touching on jazz and realizing that at some point, jazz is what created R&B, is what led to rock and roll, is what led to the songs that you can listen to in your car today.
It has influenced language. It has influenced fashion. It has influenced social interaction.
Jazz and culture are inextricably linked. You can't tell the story of America without jazz. The jazz collection here is one of the core strengths of the museum's collections. It's really a crown jewel in the Smithsonian. The museum's jazz collections cover the whole sweep of the music's history: sheet music, manuscripts, photographs, films, stage clothing, paintings.
We have awards. We have multiple Grammys. That for Ella, that for Duke. We have Duke Ellington's Presidential Medal of Freedom.
We acquired Duke Ellington's archives in 1988, and we wanted to bring that music alive, to make the archives sing. So the best way to do that was to have our own orchestra.
Music is a live thing. It has a spirit, it has an energy. And you cannot appreciate music just by looking at a sheet of paper. It's experienced best in a live situation. So the orchestra takes the music off the page and breathes new life into it.
Jazz Appreciation Month is a month every April, every year, to cast a spotlight on jazz.
This music has a long arc of influence, and it's been something that has been embraced all around the world.
Jazz is our history, but also jazz is still happening. Let's celebrate that. Let's do something with that.
Jazz is such a vital part of America's cultural heritage. It's really important that the public understand it, appreciate it, and value it. Jazz is America, and America is jazz.
The 2024 Academy Awards, or the Oscars, will be held on March 10th. The Oscars celebrate the achievements of the men and women in movies over the past year. This year, 5 Black actors and actresses earned nominations as the best in their field. Daniel Brooks, Sterling K. Brown, Coleman Domingo, Divine Joy Randolph, and Jeffrey Wright continues a long line of African American achievement in cinema. In 1940, actress Hattie McDaniel became the first African American to win an Academy Award for her role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind. In 1964, Sidney Poitier became the first African American male to win the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role as a construction worker who helps build a chapel in Lilies of the Field. In 1972, singer Isaac Hayes became the first African American to win an Oscar for Best Original Song for the theme from Shaft. And in 2010, Roger Ross Williams became the first African American director to win an Oscar for the documentary film Music for Prudence. Alice Walker's 1982 novel, The Color Purple, won the Pulitzer Prize and the National Book Award for Fiction in 1983. Turned into a movie in 1985, the novel tells the story of a young African-American girl named Celia Harris and the brutal experiences she endured, including domestic violence, incest, child sexual abuse, poverty, racism, and sexism. Oprah Winfrey starred in the film as Sophia, a Black American woman reared in the South in the 1930s who rejects completely the systematic oppression that engulfed the position of the Black woman in America. Winfrey, in her first acting role ever, was nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Movie. In 2005, The Color Purple was re-envisioned as a Broadway musical, with the character of Sophia being played by Daniel Brooks in its critically acclaimed 2015 adaptation. The following monologue provides a glimpse into the character Sophia, performed by Bria Pryor.
All my life I had to fight. I had to fight my dad, I had to fight my uncles, I had to fight my brothers. A girl child ain't safe in a family of men, but I never thought I had to fight in my own house. Sat in that jail. I sat in that jail, 10 years about done rot to death. I know what it like to want to go somewhere and can't. I know what it like to want to sing and have it beat out shut. I want to thank you, Miss Seal, for everything you done for me. I remember that day in the store with Miss Mills. I was feeling real down. I was feeling mighty bad. And when I seen you, I know there's a God. I know there's a God.
Motown. Motown is an American record label owned by the Universal Music Group. It was founded by Berry Gordy Jr. as Tampa Records on January 12, 1959, and incorporated as on April 14, 1960. It's named a portmanteau or mashup of Motor and Town. Motown became a nickname for Detroit, where the label was originally headquartered. Motown played an important role in the racial integration of popular music as an African-American owned label that achieved crossover success. In the 1960s, Motown and its subsidiary labels, including Templar Motown, the brand used outside the US, were the most of the Motown sound, a style of soul music with a mainstream pop appeal. Motown was the most successful soul music label with a net worth of $61 million. During the 1960s, Motown achieved 79 records in the top 10 of Billboard Hot 100 between 1960 and 1969. Motown's artists include groups such as The Supremes, with Diana Ross, The Four Tops, The Jackson 5, as well as Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, The Marvelettes, and The Miracles. Listen now as the high school choir performs a medley of some of Motown's hits. about the month of May? Well, I guess you say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Talking about my girl, my girl. I got sunshine on a cloudy day with my girl. My girl.
Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Wait, Mr. Postman. Oh yeah, please, Mr. Postman. Oh yeah, you need to wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Please, Mr. Postman, please check and see just one more time for me. You need to wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Please, Mr. Postman, deliver the letter, the sooner the better. You better wait.
Ira Aldridge was a 19th century African-American actor born free on July 24, 1807 in New York City. Aldridge attended the African Free School and in the early 1820s began his acting career while he was a teenager. Ira Aldridge acted with the African Grove Theater before migrating overseas and making his London debut. He then toured countries like Austria and Russia, earning the nickname African Roseus. He used his fame to call for an end to slavery. Aldridge became a renowned interpreter of Shakespearean tragedy on the European stage. Aldridge spent years touring the United Kingdom, playing the title role in such Shakespearean works as Othello. Listen now as Gerald Davis provides a glimpse into the character of Othello.
This fellow's of exceeding honesty, and knows all qualities, the learned spirit of human dealings. If I do prove her haggard, through her jesses that were my dear heartstrings, I would whistle her off and let down the wind. To pray at fortune, happy, for I am black, and have not those soft parts of conversation that chambers have, or for I am declined into the vale of years. Yet, that's not much. She's gone.
We remember Reese Taylor and the brutal violence that remained an open secret throughout the Jim Crow South. Violently attacked by 6 white men, her story helped to build the civil rights movement. Rosa Parks saw an opportunity to hold up Taylor's story as a national example of Southern injustice. Ms. Parks partnered with other progressive groups, including the now mostly forgotten Southern Eagle Youth Congress, the defense team of the Scottsboro Boys, the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, and other labor organizers, as well as communist networks to form the Alabama Committee for Equal Justice for Ms. Reese Taylor. The coalition became a national movement that the Chicago Defender called the strongest campaign for equal justice to be seen in a decade, and daily stories on the case were printed in newspapers across the nation from Baltimore to Los Angeles. We remember the tragedy of Reese Taylor and how she became a symbol for the great injustice of the Jim Crow South. Please pause for a moment of silence to remember all of the victims of racism and violent injustice in the United States, as well as throughout the world.
Fisk University opened in Nashville, Tennessee in 1866 as the first American university to offer a liberal arts education to young men and women irrespective of color. 5 years later, the school was in dire financial straits. George L. White, Fisk's treasurer and music professor back then, created a 9-member choral ensemble of students and took it on tour to earn money for the university. Mr. White named them the Jubilee Singers, a biblical reference to the year of Jubilee in the book of Leviticus, chapter 25. The group traveled across the United States, including a performance at the White House. In 1873, they traveled to Europe. Funds raised that year were used to construct the school's first permanent building, Jubilee Hall. Jubilee Hall was designated as a National Historic Landmark by the U.S. Department of Interior in 1975. Today, the Fisk Jubilee Singers continue as an a cappella ensemble that performs Negro spirituals originally sung by slaves prior to the Civil War.
When Israel was in Egypt's land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Lord told Moses what to do. Let my people go to lead the children of Israel through. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. As Israel stood by the waterside, let my people go. At the command of God it did divide. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. When they had reached the other shore, let my people go. They sang the song of triumph for. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go.
Alvin Ailey was an American choreographer and activist who made his Broadway debut in 1954. He founded the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater in New York in 1958, which later developed the School of Dance. His company toured the world, and in 1988, he was honored by the Kennedy Center for his contributions to the arts. Judah Jameson joined the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater in 1965 and quickly became an international star, most notably for the tour de force solo, Cry. During the 1970s and 80s, she appeared as a guest artist with ballet companies all over the world, starred in the hit Broadway musical Sophisticated Ladies, and formed her own company. She returned to Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater in 1989 when Mr. Ailey asked her to succeed him as artistic director.
The end of slavery came with the passage of the 13th Amendment and the end of the Civil War. which officially ended the institution in the United States and freed the last few humans who remained in chattel bondage. In isolated Texas, word arrived late. Freedom finally came to Texas on June 19th. Juneteenth, also known as Juneteenth Independence Day or Freedom Day, is an American holiday that commemorates the June 19th, 1865 announcement of the abolition of slavery in the U.S. state of Texas. In June of 2023, PSM students participated in the only West Side Juneteenth parade. The parade route traveled down Madison Street and ended just 1 block away with a celebration in Garfield Park, right on the corner of Madison Street and Central Park Avenue. This year, you too can participate in the parade and represent Providence St. Mel. You'll earn community service hours, but more importantly, you'll help remind, recognize, reignite, respect, and revel in our great history and tremendous heritage.
We hope you have enjoyed our brief look at some of the amazing accomplishments of African Americans and that you learned something new today. Your challenge is not to leave what you've learned within this auditorium, but rather to embrace this thought and well-earned wisdom. Pick up the torch from those who have gone before us and go out and make a difference. We'll leave you with 2 quotes to inspire you when you think of activism. Thurgood Marshall successfully argued the Brown versus Board education case in the U.S. Supreme Court. Brown versus education brought an end to the idea that separate was equal in American society. Because of Marshall's distinguished legal career, he became the first African-American justice on the Supreme Court of the United States. Justice Marshall tells us, where you see wrong or inequality or injustice, speak out, because this is your country, this is your democracy. Make it, protect it, pass it on. Fannie Lou Hamer was an African-American voting and women's rights activist, community organizer, and a leader in the civil rights movement. She was the vice chair of the Freedom Democratic Party, which she represented at the 1964 Democratic National Convention. Hamer put her views on activism simply by eloquently saying, when I liberate myself, I liberate others. If you don't speak out, ain't nobody going to speak out for you. Students, let today be a great day to be a Providence St. Mel night. And now, please stand us and join us in our closing song.
Let's give our creators of the assembly and all of our performers a round of applause. As Ahmad said earlier, we hope that you learned something new today. As you go throughout your day, and as we near the end of February, know that Black history does not stop on February 29th. To quote one of the banners in our hallway, PSM students, I challenge you to dream like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., to speak like Frederick Douglass, to think like Marcus Garvey, to write like Maya Angelou, to challenge like Rosa Parks, to lead like Harriet Tubman, to educate like W.E.B. Du Bois, to build like Madam C.J. Walker, to fight like Malcolm X, to reclaim like Maxine Waters, to march like Paul J. Adams III, and to inspire like President Barack Obama. This concludes our Black History Assembly for today. Again, we hope that you enjoyed and learned something today. Carry this with you not only today, but throughout the rest of your life. Parents and guests, thank you for coming out and enjoying this day with us. At this time, I would dismiss, and I'm going to put Mr. Ward on the spot. I need a little drum beat while you're doing the little drums, please. At this point, I'm going to dismiss our preschool, pre-K, and 5th grade going towards the back, our 9th grade towards the middle, and our 6th and 7th grade teachers. If you do not have a class, please go in the hallways to assist our students. And thank you again. Thank you. Eighth grade, sophomores, you're going to your period 2 class, junior,